If you were eating some eggs someone just cooked and you were like, dang, these eggs are so good, you did a good job with these, and they're like, oh yeah, thanks, I stepped on them before I cracked them open. Bro, what? If you're stepping on eggs before cracking them open, someone looked at a normal problem and thought that I have a solution, which is totally normal, but the solution is somehow worse than the original problem. So today we're going to be looking at some life hacks. I'm Radaron, the professional dummy, and today we're finding out which life hacks are genius and which ones should just be deleted from existence. So let's go ahead and get into it. I got a 5-minute crash video pulled up for us. So first off here, it looks like we're starting with this self-watering plant. So what they do is they use a Corona bottle and you just flip it upside down, and over time the water just drains. Now it's like, what are we doing, bro? First off, is that useful? I guess it could be. I feel like you could actually just buy things that are a lot more efficient and do this better. For example, my dog bowl for my dogs it refills itself. Basically, you fill this giant jug and over time as they drink it, it refills a little can at the bottom that they drink out of. My point being, I bet there's a similar thing for plants, right? You don't have to take a beer bottle and just shove it in there and then it slowly drains over time, right? I don't know. It's just silly. Is that really much of a life hack? I don't know. I guess it could be. So this one is for quicker cooling. It looks like they take a paper towel, put it in water, and then you soak the water out, and then you get whatever this is, just this dry, and then you put it around something, like a bottle. I don't know if it's like a hot bottle. I guess so you put it in the fridge. Hold on, what? I'm confused now, because you just put it in a fridge anyways for it to cool. Why don't you just put it in a freezer and be done with whatever? I don't know. I don't understand. I guess putting water around it will help it cool better, but you could just put it in the fridge for a little extra longer. That's the thing with these life hacks. A lot of times they're not even useful and they end up being more trouble than it's worth. I would rather just throw something in the fridge and wait rather than go get a bowl of water, get some paper towel, fold it up, and then strain water out of it, and then wrap it around the bottle and put it in the fridge. Instead, you could just put it in the fridge, just wait. Or if you're extra lazy, just leave it out, room temp. But if you want it to be, I'm guessing maybe you buy a drink from the store and you want to try it so badly, right? You really want to try it, but like, you need it to get cold as fast as possible. At that point, just pour it with some ice. What are we doing, dude? These life hacks are circumventing problems that you shouldn't even really have anyways. So this one says it's a coin trick, so they just open a bottle with a bottle opener. Pretty standard stuff. But if you take a coin, it will help you not fold the... Why are we calling these life hacks? I don't know. Taking that just so you don't fold the thing, so you can put the cap back on. Most people would just drink the full drink, and if they don't, they just throw out the rest, right? I don't know. Whenever I've had a drink like that, I just drink the whole thing eventually. And even if I don't, I'm not gonna try my best to preserve it. I don't know, I find it funny that you use a bottle opener to open a bottle. That seemed pretty normal so far. But then if you put a coin on it, you won't fold the bottle, or you won't bend the bottle cap that you're probably never gonna touch ever again. Like, I bet most people, when they open bottles like that, they throw the cap out immediately. It's irrelevant. When I watch these life hacks, I don't know if I'm going insane. Do I just do things differently than most people? Or like, am I in the wrong here? I don't know. All right, so a beer box cooler. You know what? Forget this. We're skipping the alcohol ones. All right, so we got a shopping bag. So basically, you lay a towel flat, cut out part of the towel or whatever this is, a rag. I don't know what this is. You fold it. You tie some string to it. You cut the string. All right, cool. And then you can hold stuff in it. I'm just going to say this again. Why don't you just buy a shopping bag? At some of my local stores, you can buy shopping bags that are not only more efficient in actual bags, but they just work a lot better. You can buy some of them for even as low as 20 to 50 cents for some of the paper ones, and some of the plastic ones are only like maybe $1. My point is, I feel like you're actually doing more trouble than it's worth. You're doing more labor and basically putting more cost into labor than you are just going out and buying something real quick. You're spending more time trying to find this solution than you are actually just following the original solution in the first place. And it makes me think of a solution looking for a problem. You found your solution, you found your thing that you want to do to fix an issue. Now you just got to find the issue to apply it to. Because normally in life, if you have a problem, you find a solution for it. This is the other way around, where they're finding a solution and then trying to find a problem to put it on. Just get a shopping bag. And like, who doesn't have bags lying around anyways? I feel like most people are going to have some sort of bag you can use for shopping. But even if you don't, you can get much more stronger and more useful, convenient ones that also can like fold in. They're sturdier. They're designed to hold more groceries than just a towel or something, whatever that was. I don't know, this next one's in the same vein, I believe. It's a laundry bag, so you have to take some sort of hoop with a towel, put another hoop on the top of it, screw it together, and then there you go. That's your laundry bag. You know what? That one's not as bad. I can actually see some use for that one, but I also don't know who has metal discs or whatever those were laying around with a screw that tightens it. Maybe you could improvise and find another way to do it, but I just don't know who has stuff like that lying around. I feel like most people have a laundry bag or a laundry basket. Some people I know just use garbage bags. My point is, this stuff is cool and all, but it's just like, it's not really life hacks. I think life hacks is more something that's very useful, right? It's something that's going to really help you. It's something that when you do it, when you use it, it actually helps you circumvent something or actually get you to where you need to be faster. But I feel like in these situations, you're putting yourself through more trouble just to say that you did it. Of course, it's cool to make it and show your friends and be like, look, I did this life hack. I didn't have to buy a laundry basket. But like, when you think about it, the towel that you're using and the equipment you're using to put it together, is that going to be more than a laundry basket would be initially? Or a laundry bag, sorry. But even if it's not, I still feel like there's a reason why in society we make things for this, right? We make these things so you don't have to try to make it yourself, right? It's more convenient to go out and buy it than it is to try to make it yourself with some weird craft. And plus, some of these crafts, they're probably not even that sturdy. They could fall apart really easily. Maybe if you put enough weight on some of this stuff, they just fall apart, right? And they just break. That would suck while you're carrying it and everything just falls out on the ground, especially when it's dirty and all this dirty stuff gets on the ground too. I guess the point of this whole rant is that these life hacks aren't really hacking anything. In fact, you're just doing yourself a disservice by making yourself sit through it. So we got this, a pillowcase dress. So I assume we're gonna take a pillowcase, really weird looking pillowcase. I don't like this one. You're gonna cut it and then fold it and then cut out more of it with scissors. You're gonna fold it back out, fold it forward, get some string attached to it. And then once you get the string attached to it, you're gonna tie it with some more string, I guess. I don't know. And then we have like a whole ribbon. We gotta put this little safety pin through it and then feed it through the holes that we made. And then you can tie it around and make it dress. It doesn't even look good. I'm sorry, the ribbon just throws it off completely. It doesn't match at all. Maybe if it were a white ribbon or something that matched the color of the dress. But like making a dress out of a pillowcase, what are we doing, man? Like, I guess it's similar material. It's like this fabric or whatever clothing material is, but it's gotta be a little uncomfortable, right? I don't know. It doesn't really have the texture of a dress. You will feel it and it has this kind of weird, kind of rough texture to it. I don't know. It's different. And we make dresses for a reason, right? We don't have pillowcases for this. I guess it's a cool craft if you want to be fun and creative, but again, I think they're just using the wrong terminology here. If you want to say DIY crafts or fun little crafts, go ahead, but you say life hack. And I think it's because it's a buzzword, right? Saying life hack is going to get more clicks, it's going to get more views, it's going to sound cooler, it's going to sound more interesting and useful. But in the end of the day, it's just this little silly craft that like probably someone's mom is going to do. All right, so we got a lounging bed. So we took 2 fabric blankets or something, 2 green blankets. We're going to tie them together with some thread. Oh, we got a third one. So we just have 3 of the same green blanket. 4! Oh my god. So we have 4 of the same green blanket laying around. And then you're going to have to get a whole sewing machine over here to put this thing together. We're going to lay it back down, put a whole pillow on it, and then do this weird folding around the pillow. We got a pillow. We're going to put another pillow in it. I guess we're just going to keep putting pillows in it, so I'll just skip through this rest of this. All right, cool. And so it's like a little roll-out bed that you can use. Oh my gosh, dude. Isn't that more trouble than it's worth? You have to get 4 pillows, not 2, not 1. You have to get 4 pillows. And that doesn't even count maybe a pillow that you would use with the bed. You have to get 4 of the identical blankets or whatever if you want it to all match up and be symmetrical or whatever, all the measurements to be the same. You have to get the same blanket or at least the same measurements of blanket. You have to get 4 of those. You have to get sewing machines and a bunch of string. You have to tie it together, do this weird folding stuff. I don't know, call me a hater, but it's just like, life hack is such a silly word to use for that. I bet you could go and find a bed and the opportunity cost would come out to be less because you're actually spending less by going out and buying one than you are putting your labor in to make one. Now, I guess it depends because if you just do it in your spare time, I guess that's more of a hobby than it is labor, but I think still, like, I don't know, if I walked into someone's house and I saw all this homemade DIY stuff instead of just stuff you can go out and buy, I would just look at them kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to be judgmental, and do what you can with your situation, do what you want with your situation, of course. But I'm also gonna be like, if you're just making this just because you think it's convenient, or if it's like some sort of life hack, I don't know. I would just hate to be like, oh wow, that's interesting. Like, why'd you make it? And oh, because it's a life hack. I really wanted to do a life hack, so I made that. Don't call it a life hack. You're just hurting me when you do that. I skipped at this one because I'm terrified. It says egg shilling hacks. Excellent. So you step on your eggs and they crack bet? Absolutely not. No. Automatically no. If someone's like, oh, I stepped on these eggs so I could crack them for you. Do they taste good? I'm like, terrified, bro. I'm not eating that. I know what the argument's gonna be. The argument's gonna be like, well, they didn't touch the inside. That was just the shell. It has nothing to do with the inside of the egg. Bro, I don't care, man. I don't care. I don't know. If someone threw my loaf of bread in the dumpster but took it out really quickly and were like, oh, the loaf of bread was only in the dumpster for like 5 seconds. It was wrapped up in everything. It's fine, bro. I don't need that loaf of bread. You can have it. You can throw it away. Do something with it. My point is, just because it didn't physically touch the inside contents, it was still in an environment that I just don't want around what I'm eating. I'm good. Is there something wrong with the eggs? Maybe not, but something just still feels wrong about it. Could you imagine just the utter shock that would be on your face, not mine, if you were eating some eggs someone just cooked and you were like, dang, these eggs are so good. You did a good job with these. And they're like, oh yeah, thanks. I stepped on them before I cracked them open. Bro, what? If you're stepping on eggs before cracking them open, I don't know, there's something wrong. Like, if you think that makes you look like a cogent, mentally sane individual, then you got something wrong, buddy. You got to take a look at that. All right, this one's for cleaning a frying pan. This might be useful for me. I feel like I've seen this before. So you break some eggshells, get some salt, and then you pour, I guess, water in it, and then you just scrub it. You know what? This is the first one that I can really get behind, because sometimes when you're going at it with normal dish soap, that stuff is not cleaning. But like, that's a good trick. Get some eggshells, get some whatever, you pour some water on it and scrub it. It didn't even look like you had to scrub that hard. That's honestly a good one. I've had issues where frying pans, they're just so hard to clean sometimes. So you know what? Credit where it's due. That I could see that being a life hack. I could see that being better than buying soap and trying to scrub it with soap. I can see that being better. So I'll give credit where it's due. That could be considered a life hack in my opinion. Seems like it works. So sharpening blades. So you pour some eggshells into, I guess, a food processor or blender, and I guess that'll sharpen the blades. Again, no hate, honestly, that's solid. I'm gonna try to include a few positive ones in this video because I know I've been hating on all of them so far, but you know what, that's a solid one. I know there's blade sharpeners and stuff out there, but that seems like a pretty convenient way to do it, where you don't have to keep sharpening it against something. You can just throw some eggshells in there and just have it go at it. I don't know how well it actually works, but if it does work, it's a good life hack. This one says calcium. So you take your eggshells, you cook it. This is probably not something I'm going to be as on board. So you cook the eggshells after washing them, and then you get a immersion blender and put them into a powder, and then you add them to milk, which already has a bunch of calcium anyways. Just automatically no. I've seen people do this. I have seen this before. I've seen people use eggshells for calcium, especially people who want to reduce their waste as much as possible, and everything they buy they use in some way or form. Very cool, very resourceful. However, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's quite a life hack. You could just drink more milk and it would probably be a lot simpler. You could just pour it into the glass and be done with it. You don't have to go through this whole process with the cooking the eggs and rinsing them and then blending them into a powder. I don't know, man. I would much rather just get a Greek yogurt cup or some cottage cheese or some extra milk or even some almond milk. I think those have a good bit of calcium, although I think dairy calcium and plant calcium or whatever are kind of different. But all I'm saying is, like, you could even just get a pill. It is not worth all that trouble just to get your calcium in, trust me. All right, growing grass. So you take sawdust and put it in an eggshell. Then you take some oats. Those don't really look like oats. Maybe I just don't know anything. And you pour them in the eggshells, probably wait forever, and grass will grow out of them. Are we seriously using the term life hack? How is this a life hack, bro? Sorry, I got a little close there. I'm just saying, calling that a life hack is just, it's a little much for me, because what if you're talking to your friend one day, right? And you're like, oh, what have you been up to lately? And they're like, oh, I just did this sick life hack. It is such a good life hack. I use that term, right? And you're like, oh, shoot, what is it? It's got to be convenient, right? And they're like, oh, and you're like, what is it? They're like, bro, what? Yeah, I grew grass out of eggshells, bro. Is that even DIY? I guess it is. Why would you need to grow grass out of eggshells? What are you doing? You're just trying to make a little garden? That's not really a life hack. What is that helping you with in life? Joy, hobbies? I feel like life hacks aren't really meant to bring you just joy and help you with your hobbies. I think they're meant to help you with life, help you circumvent an issue or solve a problem. I was talking about it earlier, find a solution to something, but I don't really think it really applies in this case. So this one's fertilizer. So you take banana peels, coffee, and eggshells, and you blend them up. Actually, my mother does something similar to this. So you know what? I won't hate. You know what? This one's fine. I think this one actually does work pretty well. So we got egg tricks. This is interesting. So we take egg, put vinegar in it. I feel like I know where this is going. So you leave it for a whole day. Automatically, how are you gonna call it a life hack when you have to wait 24 plus hours for one of the steps? Not like, oh, you have to do this and then, whatever. Let's just keep going. So you leave it for 24 hours. You take it out with some tongs. You could probably just do your hand. And then it becomes soft on the inside like that. I guess you take the shell out. Dude, how is that a life hack? Take a shot every time I say life hack in this video, but like, dude, come on. You made an egg a little extra bouncy when you take the shell off, and you call this a life hack because you left it in vinegar for 24 hours? What are you hacking? Like, what are you doing that's helping you? Are you gonna eat the egg that was soaking in vinegar for 24 hours? Probably not. So there's not even the nutritional value to this. You're just randomly making an egg into a bouncy ball or temporary bouncy ball. It's just the sheer audacity to call it a life hack. The sheer audacity to use a term that's like, it's helping you, it's gonna help you do this and that. No, it's not. What is this doing for someone? I don't even know what this is. They took an egg and they put it in this pant leg or whatever this was, sleeve, and you tied the egg in it. So then you have a, why are we calling these life hacks? What was that? Literally, what was, let's just skip to the next thing, bro. Am I a dummy here? Am I stupid? No, let's just go to the next one. So we got a phone flashlight on, and if you put an egg on top of it, it's unshaken and shaken. So one has the yolk distributed, and what, I don't understand. Are they saying you can cook it with the phone light? Or are they saying it emanates light differently? What were they trying to say? What is that doing for anyone? Who is that helping? This next one, you took a thumbtack and put it in some eggs. I actually might know where this is going. I don't know. No, I have no idea. So the air from the balloon will push the stuff out of the egg, and then you have the empty eggshell that you can put a stick in and put melted wax inside of. So you can make a candle out of an eggshell. I guess if you don't want to buy candles, but you have candle wax for some reason. So you have candle wax, but you won't buy the candle or the candle wick. And you put it in an eggshell. Could you imagine walking in someone's house and just seeing candles lit with eggshells for a special occasion? Just see eggshell candles for a special occasion. You go up and smell it, and it smells like a normal candle. And you go, so they bought the candle wax, but they didn't buy the candle to put it in? Bro, what? I'm sorry, if I go over to someone's house for Thanksgiving and I see eggshell candles, I'm leaving, bro. You're good. If I eat whatever you cooked, it's probably poisoned or something. I'm terrified of you. All right, getting into this next thing. If you open whatever this is, put 5 eggs in it and then pour water in it and boil it. So they boiled eggs. So if you put it in here with some water, this one actually is a bit of a life hack. I actually do this in my real world. So the idea is if you boil eggs and then you put it in a Tupperware with some water and then you shake it up, the shells come clean off. That's a real life hack. That thing is actually, that's so useful because it's so annoying picking off the shell sometimes, especially the little pieces that don't come off as easily. That's a legit life hack, honestly. Like, that one's legit. It's coming off so easily now. It's so smooth. So we got coffee. We poured water in the coffee. We cracked an egg in the coffee. Well, I guess it's just a mug. I don't think it's coffee. It's water and an egg. You put it in the microwave with something on top of it for 2 minutes. So we take it out and the egg is cooked. This just in, everybody. If you apply heat to an egg, it'll cook. If you apply heat to eggs, it'll cook. If you put an egg in the microwave and cover it, oh, it'll cook the egg and the inside will be kind of raw if you don't cook it too long. I feel like I could get away with this in a normal microwave, but I know covering it would help it cook over the surface a little better, but I'm just saying, you could just use a regular microwave cover. You don't need to do whatever that was. I don't even think you need to put water in it either. Or, okay, so it has a second method. So you put a plate in the microwave, you heat up the plate for 1 minute, so the plate is hot, I guess. You put a little bit of butter on it to grease the plate, and then you crack the egg, and then you stab the yolk so that there's a hole in the yolk. Cook it for 2 minutes, and look at that, it comes out a fried egg. Again, this is not a life hack. You're just applying heat to something and cooking it. That's exactly what cooking is. I've done this before. I just crack an egg on a plate and then put it in the microwave. You don't even need all the butter and stuff. It comes out just fine. You could use cooking spray too if you want. But my point is, I don't think that's really a life hack. You're avoiding putting it on a frying pan, but I feel like you're not really hacking life by doing this. You're not really finding this crazy thing. I'm sure it's been done hundreds, thousands of times. I did it before I've even ever seen a video like this. So this one, if you cut into bread with a flaming knife, it's just 5 knife tricks, thank God. So don't cut an onion normally. Cut it through the middle like that, and then make these micro little cuts. Then you cut through the middle there, and then you cut through the top, and then you make diced onions. What would have been a better life hack, honestly? You could just get one of those things that you press the onion through and it dices the whole thing for you. Problem solved. So in this one, he's heating up the knife. So first you need your blowtorch, and then to put a piece of bread on fire to toast it. Bro, nah. Let me get this straight. You gotta grab your nearby blowtorch, because I keep that on me. I keep that nearby. You gotta apply it to your knife and then cut the bread and toast it. What about the other side of the loaf? Is it gonna toast that too? It's gonna toast both sides that you cut it with? So you're just gonna have a toasted side that you don't even eat? What are we doing, dude? I'm just saying, we have a toaster. Just cut the bread and throw it in the toaster real quick. Then you only have one piece of toast and not one part of the loaf still toasted by the knife. Plus, is that not dangerous? Taking a flaming hot knife and cutting it while there's a fire emitting from it? And what if you like it on a paper plate because you weren't thinking, or a napkin because you weren't thinking straight when you're doing it? You just catch that on fire? Bro, that's a hazard. This is not a life hack. This next one, if you take a lemon and you cut the ends off and then stab through it with a knife and cut with another knife, you can slice it up in a cutesy little way. Is it cool? Sure. Life hack? Come on, no, it's not a life hack. What is that helping you with? Decoration? That's not really doing much for you. All right, this one, you take little chopsticks and then you cut the potato on the chopsticks, so then it comes out a little spiral. I just don't know if I want to, you can call it a cooking technique. I don't know if I want to call it a life hack though. I'm not going to see someone do that and be like, oh my gosh, they have escaped the matrix. They have found the solution. That is so genius. How have I never thought of it? I'm never going to do a reaction like that where I'm like, dang, they're really hacking the system here. I'll just look at it and be like, oh, that's a neat little technique. That's about it though. It's not going to go further than that. So you cut a pineapple, you cut the end off, and then you cut the other end off. Cool, pretty normal. You cut it in half. Nothing's crazy so far. Cut it into fourths. All right, there's nothing wrong here. Then you cut off the pieces, some of the ends, and then you cut those in half. Is this just showing you how to cut a pineapple? Wait, bro, what are we? No way they just cut up a pineapple and then called it a life hack. What is going on? Am I missing something here? I know I'm a professional dummy, but am I missing something in this whole video? Comment down below if I'm not seeing something here. Trust me, I understand a lot of these can be fun and cute and nice little crafts, but where's the life hack? I don't see it anywhere. Honestly, this is driving me insane a little bit. I've been recording this video for a while now. I'm gonna chop it down for you guys, but I've been recording it for a while. We're just gonna do one more and then we're gonna be good. This is another kitchen-based hack. So if you take a spiralizer machine and put, I guess, chicken breast in it, so you can make ground chicken out of this machine, and you can use a drill to power it. What? That one's weird. I don't really know what to say to that one. Maybe it's useful. I don't know. Let's just do one more. If you take this, you put it in one of these squeezer things, these juicer things, you can push the juice out of the fruit. And then eventually after 7,000 fruit, really? This just in, if you take something that can crush a juice out of a fruit, you get the juice of a fruit. Bro, I feel like there's better things for this. You get one of those tiny things, and those were like 2 glasses that, like, I don't know how high they were, but they were like 2 different glasses, right? And they had like a substantial amount of liquid. Do you know how long you'd have to do that for? Cut these little pieces out and just go get a few drops at a time. You guys see that thumbs up? I don't know if you guys saw that, but you have to get a few drops at a time. That was just like a couple drops. You probably had to do that hundreds of times to get 2 different glasses side by side. That is not a life hack. Dude, you're gonna be in the kitchen for like 5 hours doing that. And you're gonna go through so many fruits probably too. because fun fact, fruit juice, you actually don't get that much from each fruit. You actually have to use a ton of fruits over and over to get a lot of fruit juice. So that video is probably scripted, or they probably use food dye with water or something. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Alright, you guys, I think that's it for today's investigation. My final professional opinion, some of these life hacks save time, just a few of them, right? And most of them created new problems that just never needed to exist in the first place. So that was fun, and enjoyed ragging on those for a while. But I'm Radaron, the professional dummy. Subscribe if you want me to continue my completely unnecessary investigations on this channel, and I'll see you next time when I make another questionable video. So stay tuned for that.